We did Articles 28 through 31.
Article 28, Honesty Key to Being Real. A woman accused a man of a serious crime. There was a trial, and the man was found guilty and sentenced to a long prison term. The problem was that the woman's accusations was a lie. It turns out that she had been drinking and left the friends she was with to accept a ride from the man. When she returned, her friends were furious at her for leaving them, and even started to beat her up. So she made up the story that the man had attacked her to gain their sympathy. Things escalated, and the man was arrested and then put on trial. Out of shame and fear, the woman persisted in the lie through the trial. The man had a long record of violent crimes, and she had no previous record. The jury believed her, and the man ended up spending several years in prison. The 8th commandment instructs, "You shall not bear false witness against your neighbor," for a very good reason. Lies are a direct contradiction of the truth, and therefore a direct contradiction of God.
First proposition, what is true is also real. Second proposition, creation is real. Third proposition, God is the creator of all reality, or to put it in another way, all reality has its origin in God. Conclusion, if God is the origin of all reality, then he is also the origin or the basis of all truth.
Johannine writings are the Gospel of John and the 3 letters of John. They use the symbolism of darkness and the light to symbolize the spiritual truth. God sent his Son into the world to reveal this truth, so that all humanity might be saved from sin and death. Missionaries have left their homes to spend their lives preaching the gospel in foreign lands. Young people volunteer a week, a year, or several years in programs that serve those in need. People make regular commitments of their time to serve in food programs, immigrant outreach programs, and homeless shelters, witnessing by both their actions and their words to the love of Christ, and inviting those they serve to be part of the body of Christ.
Article 29, Becoming a Person of Integrity. Reparations, making amends for something one did wrong that caused harm to another person or led to loss. Conscience, the interior voice of a person, a God-given sense of the law of God. Moral conscience leads people to understand themselves as responsible for their actions and prompts them to do good and avoid evil. To make good judgments, one needs to have a well-formed conscience. When teenagers list the important characteristics of good relationships, particularly friendships, the word that surfaces most often is trust. The natural law inclines us toward living truthfully. Our consciences call us to be people of integrity. When we follow these God-given guides, we will know the true happiness he desires for us. Human beings have a natural orientation to tell the truth, and therefore have to be motivated to tell a lie. Some people lie to cover up something they did wrong, some lie to avoid punishment, and others lie to make themselves appear more important. The lie is still a sin against the 8th commandment. A lie can still hurt and wound others even if they never discover the lie. A form of lying is cheating on homework, quizzes, tests, and projects. When we fail to be honest at the very minimum, we damage our own personal integrity. We think less of ourselves and find it harder to love ourselves. But because every sin has social implications, the web of deceit often gets larger without our even realizing it. God will always see through our lies and deceptions.
Article 30, Other Sins Against Honesty. The story of the woman who falsely accused a man of a serious crime concludes with her being found guilty of perjury and sentenced to 1 to 3 years in prison. Perjury is a sin against the 2nd and 4th commandments, but it is also a federal crime. As part of her reparation, the woman was ultimately willing to accept the criminal consequences for her crime. She took the steps necessary to begin the process of forgiveness and then reconciliation with God, with the person she had harmed, and with society. Telling a lie is the most direct offense against the 8th commandment. In public communications, lies and misinformation take on even greater seriousness because they potentially affect a greater number of people. Pharmaceutical companies not revealing all the effects of their drugs to public officials, giving inaccurate information about the cost of school renovations. Failing to give relevant information is just as morally wrong as giving false information. A lie told in these circumstances is called false witness. A lie told while under oath is called perjury. Sins against reputation. Words are used intentionally to do hurt or do violence to another person. Detraction is unnecessary revealing something about another person that is true but is harmful to his or her reputation. It is a sin against the 8th commandment, which can also be gossiping, because it detracts from another person's good name. Calumny is ruining the reputation of another person by lying or spreading rumors. It is also called slander and is against the 8th commandment. Rash judgment is assuming the worst about something a person says or does without knowing all the facts. Flattering and boasting. Adulation. Excessive flattery, praise, or admiration for another person. Another sin that is a misuse of the truth is making fun of another person to humiliate the person and to hurt his or her feelings.
Article 31, Calling to Society to Integrity. In many ways, media sources have the same responsibilities for the common good as nations do. God's will is that the media outlets be sources of truth and moral entertainment. The media, especially the news, must be held accountable for providing the information that is balanced, fair, and disciplined in presenting the truth. Art is a uniquely human form of expression. Many consider the creation of art as a kind of spiritual task. The fine arts should portray life, beauty, and truth.
Case study number 1. You just met a new group of friends and are out at the mall when you spot someone that they don't like. They start telling you all these things about her, mostly rumors. The things they say are mean and hurtful, but you've heard things about her and everyone is doing it. So why should you look like the goody two-shoes? Should you give in? When is gossip okay? Case study number 2. You're taking a test in one of your worst subjects. This test is really hard and you already have an F in the class. The kid next to you is really smart and you both got the same test. You lean over and look at his answers and get a 100 on the test. Your teacher asks you if anyone has helped you during the exam. You say no because he technically didn't help you and you don't want to get in trouble. Is that a justifiable answer? When is cheating okay?